Yes.
And welcome to the Thunder Rooster Podcast. My name is Ron.
And I'm Paul.
And today we are going to be talking about the also fabled Ouija board. I'm sure you've heard all kinds of stories about the Ouija board, or you just know it as just some kind of fun little family game.
Oh, it's a fun family game for all ages.
I mean, I don't consider it that, but you know, some people do.
They think it is. I don't.
Yeah. So yeah, today we're going to take you through a little bit of history about the Ouija board, as well as some couple stories. I've actually played with one myself. Paul has not, and it's probably for the best.
Yeah, he's freaked out about everything. You don't need to play this.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the gag gifts I was thinking about getting you for Christmas is
Ouija board. Well, that board would be passed back and forth. That's for sure.
That would be hilarious.
Would we have custody for this? You get weekdays, and I get weekends?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Or we'll rotate it. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. How about we
sure. Let's get in. Right.
All right. Dive right in.
Oh, we'll dive as much as we can. But in seriousness, yes. This is a fascinating topic. Obviously, we've discussed these things in past episodes. But as far as with the Ouija board, there are some misconceptions. So we'll take it seriously. We'll look at good and bad, what people think. First and foremost, I mean, if you start to question some of the stuff, there's situations with church and state where clergy, different churches are just not really on board with it, and they want nothing to do with it.
Of course, they see it as a tool for the devil.
Yes, unlock the devil. So you have those, you have people discussing these things. So more or less, church is not really on board. Then you have just regular citizens, if they believe or not, just either based on what they've heard, what they've read, what they've seen. Then it's like the idea of the planchette, which is basically the piece that's used on the board game itself.
Yeah.
And that's another thing where, as I'm reading through, is it like, are you really moving the planchette with the partner, or psychologically, or your mind, is it controlling it itself?
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird because I've never used it, but I've seen videos, either real accounts or, in movie account, where it just seems like it's just moving on its own.
Yeah.
But they've tried to back it up with some sorts of studies to say otherwise, saying no, psychologically, it's like you're almost pushing it. Like it's just.
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
But anyway, so there's that. And then there's testimonies of if it's real or not. And then there's pop culture. Mm-hmm. Tons of it. Shitty Ouija movies.
Very shitty.
I mean,
Ouija
for
movies.
it's weird. Just years you see these bad, movie jackets, and stuff like that. And then, one thing I happen to see, it's like I found a clip from the Long Island Medium, Teresa Caputo, and even she don't want it at the house. Her daughter brings it in, and she's like, "Whoa, bitch! Like this isn't going in the house." Mm-hmm. And this is what she does for a living. So if I got a medium telling me to get it out of the house, stay out of the house.
Right. Like, I mean, some people are very,
right,
against the whole idea.
True.
I mean, we kind of are.
Right. And then just the fascination that this game is still being sold. You go to Walmart, you go to Target, you go pick it up today.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
Crazy.
No questions asked.
Yeah, none.
I believe on the board itself, I think it's for for children 8 and then up.
And up. Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Kids, be careful what you wish for.
It's like I wouldn't trust somebody my age to play with,
right?
Let alone
so
let's let a child summon the Satan himself.
A little child can unlock an iPhone. Why can't he unlock the dead?
Let's go talk to some ghosts.
Yes, right. So yeah, I mean, again, but As far as the origin, I mean, it's kind of the idea stem from just the idea of spiritualism. I mean, we're kind of looking around the idea that this is kind of coming around World War One. A lot of bloodshed. I hate to say it, but at that time, a lot of people were losing their lives, and one of the ways for the families to cope was just to try to think there was a way that they could reach out some way, somehow, and to try to see if they can, reach their loved ones.
Right.
So this idea was almost started from that.
In a sense, yeah.
Right.
We'll dig a little deeper on its history here in a minute. But first, let's for those of you who don't know what a Ouija board is, and I'm sure there's people out there that don't.
Of course.
It's basically a I guess what is it, like cardboard now? Basically a board. It's almost like a checkerboard.
I mean, I almost feel like it feels like most game board.
Yeah, I myself haven't touched one in
right. You know what I mean? Like
decades.
last I've maybe opened, box of Monopoly and played. It's like the texture of like the board. Yeah.
So yeah, you have your basic board, and it's got yes and no up in the top corners, and it's got the alphabet laid out as long from A to Z, as well as numbers 1 through 0, and then you have a hello and goodbye. In some cases, it's just goodbye.
And then you got a yes, and you have a no.
I said that.
Oh.
That age is catching up with you, Paul. But yeah. So you have the board, and then you have a planchette, which is it's basically heart shaped, teardrop shaped, but you put your fingers on it, and it's got a little circle of a window, so to speak.
A magnifying glass.
Yeah, magnifying glass, and you basically are moving along to guide what letters to spell out things, right? Or to get a yes or no answer.
Right.
So I guess originally it's meant for 2 to 4 players. And I believe when it first started out, you basically had to sit cross-legged on the ground, or what we used to call Indian style.
Right.
And you had to have a corner of each board. If you're playing 2 people, you sit across from each other, and each corner is touching your knees. And you just place 2 fingers on the planchette apiece, and it kind of moves and whatnot. So that's basically what a Ouija board is in a nutshell. Some people believe it has very spiritualistic powers, so to speak. And some people, most people, I probably just believe it's, just a little sleight of hand kind of trick, which very well be. I mean, that's probably the case. I think a lot of this is mostly like unconscious movements, but we'll get into it.
And then the misconception too was it wasn't really the game wasn't almost the game didn't have the idea of what it was now until The Exorcist kind of happened.
Right.
So it's like before it was just like, okay, this was a way to try to reach out, but The Exorcist kind of like put that notion or that ideal in someone's head, like, okay, this could be used to channel wrong things.
I mean, The Exorcist definitely drove it home,
yes.
But I think it was more the book that it was based off of, because I think it talked about it more in the book than, because I believe on The Exorcist itself, I don't think she actually had a Ouija board. I think it was some kind of like, I want to say it was almost like a collage or something, and that she hid away.
Right.
But I don't remember. Only saw it once.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, so what kind of went into the making of the now that we know of as the Ouija board, it actually went back as far as 1100 AD back in China. They used to do a little thing called spirit writing or ghost writing or something like that. It's basically when you just kind of close your eyes and just write out stuff. So it kind of got along the lines of the spiritualistic ways of people like trying to communicate with spirits or your ancestors. But more so where this kind of comes along the lines is like in the 1800s, or maybe even earlier than that. But back in like the Western days, seances were coming popular. They kind of came up with this thing called rapping, which is basically like, I know there's a story of a couple sisters who claimed to create this. So they claimed that there was a ghost haunting a house. So what the whole rapping thing comes into is you would ask a question, like say 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. So, you'd ask a question and you'd get a knock. So they were doing that for the longest time. And they actually came forward and, admitted and retracted this several times, where they would say like, they hid like some kind of string attached to something and they would pull on the string or something, get a knock. So that kind of went through and then kind of developed into a spirit board, which people would just, they would essentially do what the Ouija board is, but they use different means.
Right.
For like the Planchette was, sometimes it would be blank and they put like a pencil or something on a weird Planchette style thing and they would just write out stuff.
Right. Yes.
So it's gone through a lot of transformation to get to where it is. I mean, it's just a lot of spiritualistic stuff that, some people believe in, some people don't. It's kind of, it's fun and kind of hilarious at the same time. But, so like you were saying before, in the sense of people were trying to get connected with a lot of people that have died, like this really blew up in the sense during the Civil War, where you have massive amounts of death happening. I mean, it's all in one country. It's one side against the other. So millions of people died.
Right.
And a lot of people never heard from their family again. They'd go off and you don't know if they died. You don't know, even if you do know how they died, you don't know how they died. You don't know where they died, all this and that. So they would use any means necessary, basically try to get that closure.
Yeah, of course.
But like you were saying, like during World War I, this lady, her name was Pearl Curran. She was a famous medium, and she kind of popularized that whole trying to communicate with your loved ones through the Ouija board itself. Sure. Let's kind of go through how it got into production. So, who was Elijah Bond was the person who tagged it all up.
Yep.
You want to give us a little bit about him?
Well, I mean, that's basically, Elijah Bond is the creator.
Yeah.
Of the Ouija board.
He holds the patents.
He holds the patents for it.
Yeah.
But then he got involved with Charles Kennard.
Kennard, yeah.
Which was an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, he basically figured a way, like, we could turn a business out of this.
Yeah.
And turn the business out of it, but promise to give answers. But the answers might not even be true.
Right.
Just give him some hope.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically teaming up to kind of create the idea of offering something that provides false hope.
Right.
Which is pretty shitty, but
I thought it was an interesting story how they got the patent to begin with. They wouldn't say how it works, and the only way that the patent attorney would actually get them to get a patent for it was basically they had to guess this guy's name. They didn't know the guy's name, which I'm pretty sure, like, the dude was somewhat of an attorney himself, so
sure.
I'm sure he had heard of his name in passing in some way, shape, or form. But as far as it goes, this patent officer did not know if they knew his name or just didn't think they did. So they brought the board out and got his name. The dude got pale in the face. Is like, here's your patent. That's why if you look it up in there, it doesn't explain how it actually works.
No, but it's sold like hotcakes.
Right. And, kind of the way the name came about itself, you said it was a mix of words. What was it? It was like yes in German and...
Yeah, so So there were a couple ways that it was actually classified. So it was like the word Ouija in itself was an archaic Egyptian word meaning good luck.
Really?
Was the first part. But then as far as, as far as the word from German, it would be basically yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So one of the stories that I'd heard on it was that one of the myths, I should say, came about that the board gave itself its name. So essentially,
right.
They asked the board what it wanted to be called, and it spelled out Ouija.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked what Ouija meant, and then it spelled out good luck. So that kind of ties into what you were saying.
Yeah.
But I think what they determined was probably what most likely happened was that Helen Peters.
Mm-hmm.
She was with them at the time, and she had on a necklace that was a popular feminist from back then.
The locket,
was Ouija.
Yeah.
So maybe she intentionally spelled out Ouija, trying to name it after her, but maybe she missed the D and got the J instead.
Maybe.
Who knows? But
I found that to be very ironic.
Yeah.
I think there's a little something involved with it, but yeah.
But yeah, just the precursors to the Ouija board, what I forgot to think of earlier, it was called automatic writing.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So you have automatic writing, seances, rapping or knocking, as I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what this all boils down to is it's necromancy put into a board game.
In a nutshell.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, so the ownership of the game is kind of funny. It's supposed to be this real intense spiritual journey of a game, and it goes from the Kennard Novelty Company into the Fold Company. Later in '66, correct? It goes to the Parker Brothers.
Yep. Height of Vietnam War, the Parker Brothers makes the purchase.
Maybe because it's a tie into the war thing.
Well, they're probably thinking, based on their collected data, sold a lot during World War I.
Right. In general, this board used to sell out more than Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like it used to be the top board game that people would buy. And I don't have the year, but it eventually went to Hasboro. Hasboro has the rights to it as we speak.
Oh, no, it was 67.
67?
So a year later after the purchase, it already topped Monopoly.
Ah, got you.
So within 1 year of it actually breaking ground on a national level, distributed across the country in 1 year, it beat Monopoly.
That's crazy.
That's messed up. That is just, I'm sorry, it's messed up.
But yeah, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back into it, we'll get into a few stories.
Spooky story.
Yeah, all right. All right.
Welcome back.
Hope you enjoyed that awesome movie clip of the Ouija board.
It's pretty bad.
All right. So we want to talk a little more about the stigma that comes with the Ouija board. A lot of people are afraid of it. I'll be honest. I know Paul is deathly afraid of it. I'm afraid of it myself in a sense because, even though it's a game, I grew up in a very religious home when I was a kid. And I even know people who have actually played the Ouija board and have horror stories that go with it, So maybe if it's a lot of he said, she said stuff that kind of puts that stigma on itself. But, I mean, I myself, I just don't want to do it because I don't want to take a chance on opening a door to anything, Pretty much anytime anybody talks about using one, say for like a ghost hunt or something like that, I'm like, you fucking dumbass.
Like, cool, just open the doors to hell. Right. That's cool.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
let's bring a demon along to your journey home. But yeah, so you have a lot of that, and you did say you haven't played with one, right?
No, I've never played with one. I've never actually been up close other than just TV, movies,
right?
Word of mouth.
Do you have any friends or family that?
Not that I am aware of, no.
No, okay. So I had actually played with one, but it was when I was a kid.
Do tell.
Like I said,
I gotta hear this one.
I was basically, we had a very religious family. We went to church all the time. We're talking like not just Sundays and Wednesdays. We had church Sunday morning, Sunday night. We had Bible studies on Mondays, and sometimes we'd get together on Thursdays or Fridays for Bible study or some other thing it's called, and then church on Wednesday. And then we'd had choir practice and stuff we'd have to be dragged to as well on Saturday nights. So it was all about the church when I was a kid. But so I had this buddy of mine. I was in the 5th grade, so whatever age that would be around the 5th grade.
Your boy, Ron, your
right.
boy.
So he was from California. Him and his family just moved out in the middle of the sticks for some reason. And we were playing the Ouija board. I, of course, wanted to try it out because I thought it was really cool. And I wanted to see what it was about. So we had it up, and I'm about to get into the whole how it works with the Ouija board. But he basically had me believing that I was having a full-on conversation with Jesus Christ. And me being the brainchild I was like, when are you going to come back?
Now, Ron, you can ask Jesus
me
one question. What's it going to be? Are you coming back today?
Right. He's like, where are you?
They're like, Ron, no, that's not going to work. But when you said to ask a question.
Right. But I mean, something I do remember is like we did close out the session like you're supposed to. You're supposed to close it every time you play it. And the horror stories come from not closing it properly.
Really?
So
how do you...
essentially what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to say goodbye,
Like both participants have to say goodbye at the same time? Or does it matter if there's two people there and only one has their hands on the Planchette?
I believe all who's doing it have to move it to goodbye.
So kind of like if you both have to open the same way and close the same way.
Right.
Okay.
I believe so. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but that's
all right. Well, for those of you out there that don't close the door, close the damn door.
Right. Close it. What are you, raised in a barn?
I mean, if that's the solution, just close the damn door.
Right. So
born in a barn. Yeah. Right.
Right. But
anyway, so, okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a lot has to do with it, if it is, what they claim. But essentially how the Ouija board works, it's basically an unconscious movement that you're doing. So this was something that was cool because even though he tricked me into think I was talking to Jesus, he also explained to me that you can think of a letter or something and you can move it. So I put my hands on the thing and we thought about it. And I was like, I'm thinking of a letter and I moved it to that letter. So basically it's unconscious movements and it's called the Ideometer Effect, which is basically just that. It's just unconscious movement. So you're both touching the Planchette. And if you're just waiting for something to be spelled out, you're not necessarily thinking of anything at the time. So whoever's ready to manipulate the board can, because you're waiting to receive information while they're like, they know what's going down, so they can just move it to whatever. Or, it could actually be a tool. I mean, I don't want to completely cancel it out thinking it's not, it can't be used from that. Or it could even be in a sense that, what if we made it into that? What if it did start out as just a game? But from everybody's thoughts and the stigma to it and everything, our unconscious mind or just consciousness in general there's a lot of power there.
Oh, of course.
And that's been expressed even in, scientific studies. The power of the mind is crazy. And what if, through all of this worldwide phenomena that we hear about this, what if we put power into the board?
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to completely rule out that it can be used to talk to the spiritual world. I mean, I can't look at it that way. I feel like if you close your mind off to something like that, it's not a good way to learn more. But at the same time, you don't want to just believe you can just toss some dice around and believe everything, So it's a
or you play one time
sword.
and then Jesus is going to come back. I mean,
but yeah, so this whole thing really got kicked off when The Exorcist came out. Mainly the book itself, because a lot of the stigma with the Ouija board itself comes basically you can get possessed by a demon or an evil spirit while playing this game. And what launched that idea into the world was basically a boy by the name of Ronald Hunkler, which we covered in our very first episode over The Exorcist.
Yes, we did.
That's how he ended up getting possessed, was playing with a Ouija board that his Aunt Tilly happened to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get that movie out, it's basically the satanic panic that follows with it. I know it was more heavier during the 80s, but that's basically what it spawned from. All of a sudden, everybody has this idea of like, oh, you can be possessed by an evil spirit and you can, have all kinds of different languages coming out of you. You basically morph and all that goes along with being possessed. But, I mean, that would scare the shit out of me, So, I mean, a great way to control somebody is fear.
Fear is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Powerful motive.
There's two most ways to control somebody: fear and hunger.
That'll do it. That'll do it. So after after playing that,
mm-hmm.
I mean, did you feel like were you impressed with what you played with? I mean, did you feel better about it? Like after, you've heard.
Yeah, I want to say I felt better about it. Yeah.
You felt better after playing?
Yeah.
Did you think Jesus was coming though?
No, I was really off put by that he tricked me.
Did he try to do that?
Because, I mean, I can't put too much thought or feeling into it because I was such a young kid.
Right. And young kids are impressionable, right?
Very much so. And, so I'm not mad at him now for it or anything, but I'm just saying it was just one of those things that, I guess I had such a belief in, what I was doing that it kind of, I don't know, it just threw my mind for a whirl just trying to figure out. I was like, what is this crap? Like, I don't understand. That was just what I took away from it.
You're trying to rationalize that also with your religious upbringing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of come to a crossroad, not in a bad way, but you're just kind of like, all right, well,
okay. Well, there's a piece of the puzzle,
right? Possibly, yeah.
But I just didn't. I don't know. I hadn't played it since.
Mm-hmm. That's not coming in this house.
Right. This is one of those things. I'm like, my wife would probably
she would
kick
neuter
me to the curb
you.
if
She'd neuter you, buddy.
That's just how it goes, But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just one.
I mean, that's cool that you got to do it. I just don't see myself doing it. I just don't. I mean, I feel a little bit better about obviously what I read, and that there's the idea that it could be, a little bit more mental than just the physical realm, but I don't want to chance it.
I get you. I'm completely 100% behind you on that.
Considering that I'm someone who believes in, the paranormal world, because obviously I have,
had your
experience. Yeah. And you have TED stuff too. So yeah, so we look at it. It's just a different thing. I don't know.
That's something that's so peculiar to me because there's so many people that have experiences with that stuff, but yet the common theme, I mean, most people don't believe in anything after death. I'm not going to say most people. I'm going to say like a lot of people don't.
Right. And there's some people
and a lot of people don't believe in ghosts.
Right.
But there's evidence.
And there's evidence, and people have had been through those trials and tribulations, and others will just still until I guess it actually hits them, or again, not if they're open-minded or not.
I think that's what it boils down to.
Like what they don't know, they can be scared of.
An actual experience,
right,
would be basically the only thing that changes a lot of people's minds.
Right.
But something that fascinates me about the Ouija stuff is just like the mythology behind it.
Oh yeah,
like all the stories.
Yeah.
In particularly, there's a specific story about this guy named Darren Evans, and he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I didn't know that. I lived in Oklahoma, but I didn't know about this story till like 4 years ago. So I was already living up this way, but it was in the late 80s or something like that. He found a Ouija board, and I kind of chopped this guy up to 100% bullshit on this whole story thing because he wrote a book later on after his post online got real popular and completely changed stuff that you definitely would have had mentioned at the first scene of the story. So, basically he started playing a Ouija board with his girlfriend at their house, and he basically got obsessed with it, started claiming all kinds of different things, and basically claiming that he contacted this specific entity. It was called like Zozo or something like that. And a lot of people, it's a short name for an actual demon. I think they referenced into The Exorcist, but a lot of people don't want to say this name out loud because it apparently it attracts attention from the demon itself.
What, like Candyman?
Basically, yeah, exactly. No,
say it 2 more times, bro.
Yeah.
Say
or
it
Beetlejuice, you know. But there's just, it's going down a rabbit hole because you have that, but you also have other people that will claim that they had the same experience with that character.
Sure. Yeah.
And it just keeps going.
It's crazy.
You know, it's just follow a rabbit hole and stuff. And they even try to claim that it's been, taken back to this like French writing back in the day. It mentions it in there, but it mentions it in a weird kind of toss out kind of way where it was like, this holds nothing. Like the fact that you found this in an old book just tells me that you don't really have anything to stand on.
No.
But I bring that up just because there's a lot of fun stories. So if all else fails, this board of entertainment has done its job. It entertains people. It fascinates the mind.
It brings people together.
It scares the shit out of people.
You'll get scared and you'll be close at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, who knows, man?
Not a bad Friday evening, right?
Yeah. Friday night, we play the Ouija board. Saturday night, we hold each other and cry till we fall asleep. Sunday night, we go to church and stay there until it all goes away.
And repent for all this shit we've done. Jeez.
Right. Well, yeah.
Right. I mean, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
We definitely want to, if you guys got testimonies and stories, I mean, please, we would definitely like to hear more.
I think it would be fascinating to hear people's stories. I just said, I love hearing the stories about it. Just if you have any actual stories at all playing the Ouija board, even if nothing happened, I mean, tell us there. Tell us in the comments below. Send it to our email. Was it a waste of your
time? Was it something you might do again? Or did you get batshit crazy?
Yeah. Info at thunderrooster.com.
Check out.
I'd love to read it. So shoot us that. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
You're moving it. No, I'm not. You're moving it. You're moving it. Would you just quiet? I'm trying to concentrate here. And I'm not moving it. You're moving it.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
We back.
All right, so right now we're going to do a little something new, and I believe we're going to carry this on from here on out. We're going to call this something funny, but right now we're just calling it our little clip segment.
Clip of the week, baby.
Basically, Paul and I have decided that we're going to basically find some clips and introduce them to one another. So, yeah, we'll get a nice little kick out of it.
Sure.
And hopefully you enjoy it as well. Now, this first clip I'm going to show you is one that my wife helped me pick out.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of have thrown around the ideas of 3 clips every episode. One from me, one from Paul. And then we have one of our wives pick out another clip. So this first clip I'm going to show you here is the wife choice.
The wife choice? Okay.
This horse is going on. He's minding his own business and wham!
And wham with the left hand.
The horse is like, this is my road, bitch.
He's like, I just owned you. Yeah, right. Stay in your lane, bitch. Oh my God. That horse had some payback. Oh my God.
It was just crazy just seeing how it just
whammy. Whammy.
I like how the guy just catches himself on the trash can.
Oh shit. Oh God.
All right.
That was good. That was good.
This next clip's from Paul.
Yeah.
You want to give a little
you want me to give a little feedback?
A little description
just
on it?
Kind of like, yeah, sure. So we're pet lovers, you and I.
Correct.
But I just want to see, would you cut this dog's nails?
All right.
Would you groom this dog?
Oh, shit. Oh my God.
He gives him a kiss on the cheek. He's a good boy. Just a good boy.
Oh my God. Maybe it's like the light shining in his eyes or something, but he looks like the spawn.
He got them damn alien spawn eyes, and the guy's like, "Oh, he's a cute little boy."
I like how he's just nonchalantly like, "Yep, this happens every time." Awesome.
I mean, that's my fear with my shepherds. Like, we don't cut his nails because he's got the dark ones, and I'm just afraid like I'm just gonna slip and he's just gonna hate me for life. You know?
It was like even our little Bella. Like, I just refuse to do it anymore because she freaks out so much over it. It's like you barely touch her paws. She's like, "No."
Oh, like a little Rottweiler's gonna do any damage.
All right, this
that was good.
This one is something I titled Too Far.
Too Far? Okay.
But yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
Little wrestling move.
This maneuver from the top rope.
Oh.
And he just jacked his jaw with a forearm. What is this? What is
Let's go to the top rope.
Charade getting on the top floor in the high rent district. Here
he goes up.
Crossing himself.
Oh!
Oh!
And the crowd's silent. Everyone's like,
dude, the crowd is like, what the hell?
He even tries to kick out, like, no, I can keep going. I can keep going. It's like, dude, stay down. I mean, you got to give it to the guy. He's trying to stick with it.
Trying to stick with it. I'm like, is he paralyzed? Jesus Christ.
Just watching that, though.
Dude, that just, oof.
Because I used to jump on a trampoline all the time, do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I've landed like that once or twice. And it's just like, luckily it's on a trampoline, but, this dude.
Oh, his head went right on the canvas like that, man. It makes
you really wonder, like, did the dude break his neck?
That's what I'm saying. And then all the people in the crowd are like, was this a part of the act?
I could have rewind that and watch it again from the top rope.
Here he goes.
There he goes.
Oh. And then you see that one person in the back with the woman's hands on her head. She's like, he's fucked.
It's like, is he going to be alive in 30 minutes?
Oh, man.
Just up again.
Here he goes.
He goes again. Oh, if we could just take that back just to the part where he actually hits there. Oh, I mean, he's completely, all the weight is on his neck and his head is completely going off.
That's like how.
Hopefully this young gentleman is
okay.
Is okay. But
hopefully he might have choose the different career path. shit. How was your day? I landed on my head.
So I went viral, Mom.
You should be so proud of me. I'm going places.
Oh, that place is going to the hospital.
Yeah. To the ER.
Oh, man. I think we should bring in more botched wrestling moves for our clips. I think that would be something really entertaining.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
that was great. That was cool.
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen,
Good
that
time,
was our
guys.
clip segment. Hopefully you like that. We're going to keep bringing that out, but man, oh, man. That was good.
Yep.
But we really hope you liked this episode. Hopefully we covered it as well enough for you. Give you a little something to giggle at, something to learn. It's what we strive for here. But yeah, tell your friends about us. I really think that this is a perfect podcast for somebody to start out on if they haven't started out on any podcasts. I mean, we cover 4 different subjects, so you get a little taste of everything. But
you got it.
You know, if you like what you see, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, a like. Anything will help get us up there and get us out to the world.
Yes.
If you listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, definitely go rate us on there. Just like our shirt says, we got to earn that shit to get that 5 stars. But, you know, it is appreciated. But thank you so much for tuning us in.
Again,
Paul, you got
guys.
anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
This is a good episode.
All right.
Had fun.
We will see you again next week with a interesting little episode. We're doing our music subject, but we are actually going to cover our own guitars, and hopefully we'll make it interesting for you.
Hopefully you'll watch.
All right. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll
Take it
be
easy,
back
guys.
next week.
Later.